Hi, my name is Katrina Pickard, and I am the founder of Solomon's Porch Ministry. We serve the unhoused community in the Oklahoma City and surrounding areas. And today, I just want to invite you to step into our volunteer stories through this podcast called Hope Rising. And today, I have with us one of our volunteers, Ricky Gonzalez. Thank you, Ricky, for coming. I sure do appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. I was looking forward to this. Yep.
Yeah. So you are one of our newer volunteers.
hmm
You started back maybe in December?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
So I will say we moved up here to Oklahoma City in June, and then
Okay.
maybe a couple months after that, we found North Church, and then after that, I just kind of looked into the groups, and then one night they were just talking about selling the porch, and I it was definitely something I wanted to do, so I just contacted you, and then before we knew it, I was getting involved, and yeah, now it's, what is it, April? So,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's almost a year since I've been living here, so
Right.
yeah.
That's wonderful. And we love having you. So you help with the setup. And why don't you talk about the setup, what we do?
Yeah, so with the setup, we get there a little bit earlier. Um, Granted, every now and then I don't get to go, but when I do get to go, we get there, we see who's available, and then normally we try to set up in the same spot, but next week I believe it's going to be in a different spot,
We are.
so that's going to be interesting. And then it's always amazing just seeing the unhoused, everyone that's over there that wants to just help out, just because usually we do have enough people, but everyone or the people that do want to pitch in, just come up to us like, hey, how can we help, and all that. And um, it's it's a relief just sometimes whenever like we're running behind schedule or we just don't know like how it's going to play out. I think last time, um, I think there was just some miscommunication, and there was like a little bit of, it might have been the week that you weren't there or the month that you weren't there, but granted, we all kind of came together, and I mean, it always works out.
Yeah.
So
Well, the only one I've missed is December. So that
December,
may have
that,
been it. Yeah.
yeah, and I remember it was a little cold that one time.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really interesting when you talk about the flexibility our volunteer
Mm,
groups does, because we do face challenges. For example, one of our volunteers who's bringing the main food,
mm,
they got stuck in traffic because of a car accident.
right.
But it ended up working out okay
Yep.
because we were able to go ahead and give them the hygiene stuff. They had more time to spend in the
hmm
RV without worrying about not getting a meal. And so I love how the flexibility is with our volunteers. But our setup is not just set up some tables and we're done.
Right.
We have two 10 by 20 tents with canopies. And even if we don't set up the sidewalls, just getting the canopies on there and set up is a major deal. And then we have to we're in Oklahoma, we have to put weights on the,
Right.
because of the wind, right? And then we've got to line up all the tables. We have 7 8-foot tables that go under those two tents.
Yeah.
And then we have a 10 by 10 tent that used to be for our haircut people, but they're moving into a building
Oh,
for
okay.
this month.
hmm
And so that's going to be for our pet care and hygiene care. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely takes a lot, and then like you said, the wind does play a factor. Let's just say, if you're like a short person, then you're gonna have some struggles, but it always works out. And thankfully, I believe this month the weather is gonna be pretty decent. So,
I think so too.
yeah.
Yeah. So I just love that. And I'm so thankful that you serve with us. And you have a newborn baby.
I do.
She's what, 3 months now?
Yeah, 3 months. Yeah.
3 months?
Yeah, before you blink, it's gonna be a year. So, yeah, I have a newborn. I also have a 3-year-old. So, those two together are just, you know,
Hmm.
you wake up and then next thing you know, it's bedtime and yeah. So,
But
um,
what fun years. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And what an example that you're setting for them also. I know that your wife and your children haven't come, but that's for obvious
Hmm.
reasons. But you are setting such an example of how to lead your family and to serve others as well. So I know Jesus is smiling down on you for
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say I guess part of my reason of wanting to volunteers just with my main job. So I work at a nonprofit called Volunteers of America,
Oh,
and I work
okay.
in the veterans department. And what we do is we help with I don't believe I've told you this, but I
No,
help with like homeless or at-risk veterans find employment.
wonderful.
So every now and then I do encounter people that are unhoused or they're in the transition of getting into a place where they just got evicted. Just so even though Solomon's Porch is like once a month, for me that's like every week. So when I was doing that, and then when I found about Solomon's Porch, I just felt like it's a no-brainer. So um, so far I haven't met any veterans, but if I do encounter anyone that is a veteran, I would love to just, be able to assist them or just tell them like, hey, there are some programs out there. I mean, there's lots of programs. It's just a matter of like them knowing about the
Right.
resources. So, um, and I try to help as much as I can, but obviously we're only
Yes.
human.
Yeah.
So I rely on prayer a lot. Whenever I just let's just say that I can't help them with our services, I just either whether it's just buying them a meal or buying them a bus pass or just telling them that you're praying for them
Yeah.
because you know I wish we could help them so much more, but we're us, and then there's God, so we have to rely on God more,
Absolutely. He's
100%.
directing our steps every every step that we take. And thank you for what you're doing with Volunteers of America. I love that. And my dad was a veteran. He passed away 2 years ago, but
Mm-hmm.
um, you know that's a place in my heart that our elderly and our veterans. I just am very sensitive to. Not saying that other people don't deserve our help, but I'm
Right.
very
Yeah.
sensitive to those
Yeah.
two demographics.
Yeah. I mean, being a veteran myself, it means more to me, and well, one, they're a person in need, and two, they're a veteran, and whenever you're a veteran, you basically are brothers and sisters. So
Hmm.
doesn't matter what era you serve, doesn't matter how long, doesn't matter if you're retired, got out, kicked out, whatever. At the end of the day, like you guys both, stepped up and took that oath. So, um, and
Yeah.
I hope people that just got out their early 20s and then people that are in their 60s, sometimes 70s, and um, again, I just have to rely on prayer because it's a lot. I don't come from this specific career field, so when I first started, I was dealing with imposter syndrome, and then after a couple months, then there's the other corner, which is saviorism, where you feel like you want to just do as much as you can to get them back on their feet, just do everything. But I was humbled because you have to find that middle ground in between those two areas, and that's what helps me get through.
Yeah.
So, which that middle ground is our Lord and Savior. So,
Right.
yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. I can really tell and see and feel your heart for this ministry.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, How has your faith grown since you've been serving with us?
I feel like it's definitely it's grown, but it's taken a different approach. So with just with helping the veterans and just homeless, the unhoused in general, you have to. What's the verse? It's in Matthew, but basically, Christ is like whenever you help the needy and poor, you're also helping Christ. And
Yes. For whatever you do to the least of these, you
yes,
do to unto
so
me. Hmm.
whenever you're in traffic and there's just someone just asking for food or panhandling, and you have a few like dollars on you or something,
Hmm.
but they're like too far away, or you're just like, "Ah, I don't know if I'll be able to do it." It's definitely challenged me to just step out a little bit more. So um, even though it's something small, I will just buy some dry food snacks just to have in my vehicle. So whenever I do encounter someone, I can at least give them that or a water bottle. Like I'll just get some couple from my office, and then whenever I see someone, I'll just hand them that. So it's just the small things, and then
Hmm.
um, yeah, it's just again, it's a weekly thing, so it can also just be like it could also be seen as just a work, and I have to remind myself like um, there's so much more than just
Yeah.
I don't know worry about that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Can you share a story of someone who you met while serving that they depended on your why for showing up?
yeah, absolutely. So there was one time where um, I was gonna help with setup, but I was just having to like leave right after just because I forgot why. But and while we were setting everything up, there was a lady that just sat down after we set up the tables and chairs, and she'd asked me, "Hey, like, do you mind if you help me take off my boots?" Because I guess
Hmm.
her feet were just tired, and she had some other shoes she wanted to put on. Well, yeah, no problem. Well, those boots were on her like real tight, so um, I was trying to pull, but I could. She was also elderly, so her skin down there was like. So I was trying to be
Oh,
careful, and um, I was also thinking like, man, like I don't want to take too long because then the whole reason why I'm here is gonna.
yeah.
But I kept helping her, and then sure enough, the boots came off, and she was so relieved, and she put her shoes on, and I handed her boots. Like, oh no, you can throw those away. I don't want them. And so I was like, okay, cool. Funny enough, though, when I was leaving, I didn't expect to see her. She was at the corner of the parking lot as I was turning, and like I didn't think she was gonna recognize me because there's so many people, but
Yeah.
she recognized me, and she just went from like having a normal face to like the biggest smile and just saying
Oh.
bye. So um, that right there, that's a good reminder. It doesn't matter if you're coming for this,
Hmm.
God's gonna have a different plan for you, whether it's just doing that or just helping someone or talking to someone.
Yeah. So one of the things we try to do is always put the people first,
Hmm.
and the tents will get raised.
Yeah,
And when you were talking, that just reminded me of when Jesus was washing the disciples' feet. You
that
know.
definitely popped up in my
Mhm.
mind when I was doing it, and um, it was such a wonderful experience. And then um, back to like, oh man, like I'm not gonna be able to like she had put her shoes on, and then she's like, "Hey, sweetie, do you mind if you just watch my stuff for me?" Like I think she was just gonna talk to her friends, so because of that, I couldn't really do anything else, and I didn't want to like if I tell you okay, like if I give you my word, I'm gonna give you my word.
Mhm.
So I watched her stuff, but then I had to. Then it came to a time I think I had to do something else or I had to leave. So I found her, and she was also grateful. But
Mhm.
again, like those two things I was not expecting to do, but uh, I know it definitely gave her a smile, and I know it definitely made my day as well.
Yeah. Sometimes as simple as what you're explaining just makes such a big impact on that person. I know there was times one person showed up with two dogs.
Hmm.
Well, when you have two dogs on a leash, it makes it really hard to go through the line and get a
Yeah.
meal. So I played with their puppies or their dogs. I call all dogs puppies, but I played with the dogs while that person was able to go in and get not only their meal, but to
Hmm.
sit down and to eat the meal without being distracted by the dogs. And I love that because that's our whole mission is put put people first. And the tents still got raised, the table still got put out, and you were able to make an impact on
Mm.
her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, our elderly, I was talking to the Homeless Alliance, and two demographics that are growing in the unhoused community is our elderly and our veterans. And maybe that's why God put it on our hearts to serve those two
Yeah.
demographics as well as the other ones, right?
He didn't say it was going to be easy, but
No, he
yeah.
didn't. But I love that we have to have faith.
Hmm.
Keep we just keep showing up,
Hmm.
and God is going to keep showing out. I
Yeah.
love that. So, what have you learned from the people that we serve that inspires you?
So what I have learned, they're just people, like just you and me. So back to just uh, you expecting to do something, but God has something else. Like, did even if you just talk to them, they're gonna be just as happy. Um, they just want to be seen. They want to be heard. Um, Breaking bread is one of the most like easiest things, but it brings so much joy. It makes them seen and heard.
Hmm.
I mean, I do that every now and then during my with Volunteers of America. I met someone at McDonald's just to do some paperwork, and I can tell she probably hadn't eaten. So I was like, "Hey, you want to eat something?" Like, so, and just that, and
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't matter if you're stable financially or whatever. Everyone uh, is just a person, and Christ is in everyone. So, um, I just challenge everyone just to take that extra step. Just it's okay to be a little uncomfortable when it comes to helping people. I guarantee you, it's going to be easier the next time you do it. So.
Yeah. So, given your work environment and serving here, um, what would the future look like for the unhoused if you can better it? What would that look like?
I would want it to I would want it to be more people friendly. Um, I mean, there are a lot of services, and Oklahoma City does have a bunch that are wonderful. Um, but sometimes they are unhoused people get like a bad reputation sometimes,
Hmm.
and they'll what is it? Service restrained. Like
Mm,
they're resistant to being helped. But that's not necessarily the case. Like they have their reasons, you know. Um, it's actually if you see it the other way around, some services are people restrained. Like there's just
mm,
so many requirements, or they have to go through, X, Y, and Z. And with I do with my job, like I try to make it as easy as possible, and just make it where we can try to help them the quickest as we can, or um, to whatever extent. But I would say um, just take away all or the
almost streamline it better.
yeah, I know it's easier said than done, but it's possible. It's
Yeah.
possible. I mean, if we can just go up to someone that's on the side of the road to help them in the smallest way, then we can make it easier when it comes to the bigger services. That's what I think.
Yeah. I agree. if we can streamline some of the services that are a barrier to people,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people, they have come against those barriers and they now have that why even try,
Mm-hmm.
because they've come against those barriers and they weren't able to succeed on overcoming those barriers. And one of the things that I hear a lot out there is relationships. We need people who will develop relationships with us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's what we're trying to do by showing up every month, be able to sit down at the table with them and to talk to them and to pray with them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Yeah. So, if there's someone who's listening to this video who wants to join and they've been hesitant to, for whatever reason, what advice would you give them?
Um, well, first, just pray about it, just because, I mean, it can be a big step for them, but at the same time, I just challenge you just to be comfortable being uncomfortable, and just, and it doesn't have to be a lot when it comes to just volunteering. Like, you can just help with the setup or the breakdown. There are so many people every time I come, not who we help, but the volunteering, and that's a
Mhm.
good thing. And I don't want to say we have too many people, because that's not the case. If anything, it just means more people just having a conversation
Yeah.
while they're in line, or they're making their way, or they're headed out. Just
Waiting to get a haircut.
what? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So um, I guarantee you they're going to be happy that you just talked to them. So just come out, and um, you know, and I always have a good time, just because um, you know, happiness is so contagious. So
Mhm.
if they see you're having a good time as they come up, they could be a little bit better. Every now and then there might be a fight going on, but sometimes they make amends, and everyone's just in a better mood right before they get a good meal. So just come
Absolutely.
out there, have a smile, and just have a conversation with them.
Yeah. Well, Ricky, I really appreciate you coming today. Um, I appreciate how you serve, not just here, but through Volunteers of America as well. That is an important organization, and I'm looking forward to even serving with you in about a week for
Yeah,
our next one.
yeah.
And without volunteers like you, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing today. And I just want to thank you for sharing your heart, your insight, and it's because of you that hope is rising out there on that street. And one day we're going to move from one day a month to more. And I'm looking forward to seeing that day and seeing what God is going to do through this
I
ministry.
think one of your videos, you said you started off helping with 40 people, I think,
We did.
and now it's like,
And honestly, it wasn't 40 volunteers. We had about 10 volunteers
mm,
serving 40 people. Now we have close to 70 volunteers.
hmm
And last month we served 235 meals.
wow,
I know.
yeah,
In less than a year.
that's
Less than a
wonderful.
year.
Praise
God
God.
is just
Yeah,
really moving.
yeah.
But like I said, if it wasn't for volunteers just like you,
Hmm.
we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Thank you, Katrina.